Welcome to day 4 of our 15-day shadowing practice challenge. If you've made it this far, I want you to know you're doing an amazing job. Every day you listen, repeat, and speak, your English is getting stronger. It may not feel fast, but learning a language is like building something brick by brick. What matters most is that you're showing up and practicing. Today's video brings you another real life style story told in easy and clear English. All you have to do is listen closely, repeat after me, and let the words sink in. This method, called shadowing, helps your brain and mouth work together. It trains you to speak more naturally and with better flow, just like native speakers. Don't worry about being perfect. Just stay with me, sentence by sentence. Today's story will not only help you with English, but it will also keep you engaged with its simple yet meaningful message. So find a quiet spot, take a deep breath, and let's begin our day 4 shadowing practice together. There was a man named Daniel who lived in a quiet part of Chicago. He was 27 years old and worked as a delivery driver for a small company. Daniel spent most of his days on the road, dropping off packages and listening to music. His life was simple, but sometimes it felt too quiet. He lived alone in a small apartment that faced a busy street. Every evening, he sat by his window and watched people come and go. It helped him feel connected to the world. Daniel's apartment was filled with little memories, photos, notes, books, and postcards. But there was one photo that meant more to him than anything else. It was a picture of his family taken many years ago at a park. His parents' younger sister, Emily, and even his old dog were in the photo. That picture reminded him of home, of comfort, and of a time when everything felt easy. He kept the photo in his wallet and looked at it whenever he felt lost. One day, after finishing his delivery route, Daniel stopped at a diner near the edge of the city. It was a small, cozy place with warm lights and friendly faces. He ordered his usual meal, ate quietly, and left a tip on the table. As he got into his van and drove away, he didn't realize that his wallet had slipped out of his pocket and fallen on the booth seat. Back at his apartment later that night, Daniel reached for his wallet and his heart sank. It was gone. He checked every pocket, every corner of his van, and even called the diner, but no one had turned anything in. The wallet had his license, a few dollars, and the photo. The photo was what hurt the most. He could replace the other things, but not that one memory. The next few days were hard for Daniel. He still went to work, still smiled at customers, but he felt different inside. That picture had been with him through college, tough times, and long nights. It was more than just paper. It was a piece of his heart. He didn't tell anyone about it, not even Emily, who now lived in Seattle. He didn't want to sound silly, but he felt like something important had been taken from him. On the fourth day after losing his wallet, Daniel got a call from a number he didn't recognize. He answered, not expecting anything. It was a woman named Claire who worked at the diner. She told him someone had found a wallet tucked between the cushions of a booth. She had looked inside and used the name on the driver's license to search online. Daniel's company website had his contact number, and that's how she found him. Daniel felt a wave of relief. He thanked her and promised to come by that evening. After work, he drove straight to the diner. The same warm lights greeted him, and Claire, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, handed him the wallet. Everything was there: his license, the cash, and most importantly, the photo. It was slightly folded, but safe. He thanked Claire again and sat down to eat something. As he waited for his food, he looked around the diner with a new feeling. He had eaten here many times, but this was the first time he felt truly grateful. It wasn't just the photo, it was the kindness. A stranger had gone out of their way to help him. That small act reminded Daniel that good people still existed. He began visiting the diner more often. He learned that Claire had worked there for over 20 years. She lived nearby, loved to read mystery novels, and always wore a pin with a small sunflower on her uniform. There were other regular customers, too: an old man who came every morning for coffee, a group of students who studied there in the evenings, and a young couple who always shared one plate of fries. Slowly, Daniel started to feel like he belonged. One Saturday morning, Daniel brought a small gift for Claire, a frame print of a sunflower photo he had taken years ago during a trip with his sister. She smiled warmly and placed it on the counter near the register. From that day, it became a part of the diner's charm. Other customers noticed it, and Claire always told them it was a gift from someone who once lost something important and found more than he expected. Daniel's days started to feel different after that. He still did his job, still came home to his small apartment, but now he had something extra, something quiet but strong. He had a place to go where people knew him, a place where he wasn't just a customer or a delivery driver. He was Daniel, the guy with the sunflower picture, the guy who came in for pancakes on Thursdays. He also started calling his sister more often. Emily had always been close to him, but with distance and work, they had lost touch. Now they talked every weekend. She even planned to visit him in Chicago soon. Daniel realized that sometimes losing something can open your eyes to the things you've been missing. The winter months came and snow covered the streets. The diner stayed warm and busy. Daniel brought in his camera again and started taking photos around the neighborhood. He found joy in capturing small moments: kids playing in the snow, lights reflecting on icy windows, and families walking together. He created an online page to share his photos, and people began to follow his work. What started as a quiet hobby became something more meaningful. One day, Claire asked him if he wanted to display some of his photos in the diner. They cleared a small wall near the back and made it a photo corner. Daniel printed 5 of his best shots, each one telling a little story of the city's quiet life. Customers admired them, and some even asked if they were for sale. Daniel was surprised but happy. It was strange how one lost photo had led to all this. It had brought him back to the diner, helped him connect with others, and reminded him of who he really was. Daniel had always been a kind soul, but life had made him quiet. Now, slowly, he was finding his voice again, not through loud words, but through pictures, smiles, and simple acts of kindness. By spring, things looked brighter, literally and in Daniel's heart. The flowers returned to the parks, the sun stayed longer, and the streets filled with color again. Daniel now volunteered at a local youth center on weekends, teaching kids how to take photos with their phones. It wasn't a big job, but it mattered to him. His story wasn't a grand one. It didn't have huge changes or loud moments, but it was real. A man lost a photo, and in trying to find it, he found a small community, a reason to smile, and a reminder of how life can surprise you when you least expect it. And every night before going to bed, Daniel would look at that photo, now placed safely in a frame on his shelf. He would think of his family, the people at the diner, the new photos he had taken, and the quiet beauty of a life slowly unfolding. Thank you for staying with me till the end of this story. You've just completed day 4 of our 15-day shadowing challenge, and that's something to be proud of. Every day, your listening, understanding, and speaking skills are getting better. This story was not just for fun, it was a way to help you speak naturally, using real sentences that people use in daily life. Remember, shadowing works best when you do it often. If you listened and repeated along with me, great job. And if you didn't get everything right, that's okay. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. With each sentence, your confidence is growing and your brain is learning how English sounds and flows. Daniel's story reminds us that small events can change our lives in big ways. Just like he found meaning in everyday things, you too can find your voice in English through daily practice. So stay consistent, stay motivated, and trust the process. You're not just learning words, you're building a new skill that will help you in real life. I'll see you on day 5 with a brand new story. Until then, keep practicing, keep speaking, and believe in yourself. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment about today's story, and subscribe so you never miss the next practice. You're doing amazing. Keep going.